how to step into a new identity. Now, before I tell you how you can step into a new identity, I first want to share with you my story of how I stepped into a new identity, because I think it will help you understand that you can go from this to that. So if you don't know me, my name is Denise Kavaliauskas, and I have been coaching women and men for over 10 years in high conflict situations and getting out of stuck situations, getting out of legal situations, and moving on with their life and creating a life that they love. And I've done that, and I've shown my clients all of this through consciousness work. And this is where this all comes together. So back in 2010, I, at that point in my life, was in my 40s, had 2 teenagers, miserable relationship with their dad, miserable life, could not see how this was going to get better. It kept getting worse and worse. I was totally miserable. My kids were going through a lot of crap, and I decided, so there's key number 1. You got to decide. I decided that this life that I had was no longer my life. I didn't want it anymore. From there, what I did was I went in my mind and I said, okay, if this is not the life I want anymore, what do I want? And that question is the exact question that I've been asking when I get on a call with women or men. What do you want? Because that question right there is going to tell you everything. And even if you don't know what you do want and you can only spew out what you don't want, that's okay. Write it out and then counteract each one with what you do want. This is an exercise that I've given my clients for years. I do it for myself as well. Okay, so now you've decided, now you go into what you do want, and now you think to yourself, okay, so how do I get this life? Okay, how do I get this life? So for me, it was moving out of the state of Florida, moving to North Carolina. For me, it was having peace, just having an apartment, my daughter and I having peace. Because up until then, all that we had or were experiencing was chaos, which was yelling, screaming, just not peace. So that was number 1. We wanted peace. I wanted peace. And so along with me literally having it in my mind, I didn't know what this apartment was going to look like. I had no idea. So I didn't know what this apartment was going to look like. I visualized it. I put it in my head, how I was going to feel in this apartment, how I was going to breathe in this apartment, how I was going to have silence and peace in this apartment. That is literally what the main thing that I was focused on. And it worked. Because when I said to myself and to the universe what I wanted, when I started to make the moves towards me moving out of South Florida and into North Carolina, which was looking for a job, right? Because at that time I was running my ex's business in Florida, and the only money that I could get my hands on was funneled through my ex. And so living on my own, I was going to have to get a job. I did medical sales. I was in the medical field, and I loved doing medical sales because it was marketing and I loved doing that. So I started to look for that type of a job, and the starting pay wasn't going to support me. So I told the guy, I had such lady balls because I was financially on my own. I couldn't rely on my then husband back then, right? Now my ex-husband. I couldn't rely on him. So I had to figure some shit out. And one of the things I had to figure out was finances. And so this company wanted to hire me at, I don't remember what it was. I think it was like 12 something. This was back in 2011. I think it was 12 something. And I was like, no, I can't live off of 12 something an hour. But what I can do is I can show you how I am worth more. And so I think I did 12 something for, I don't remember, 30 days, 90 days. And then he would have to bump me up to whatever I was asking for, $16 or $17 an hour. I don't remember. And it worked. It worked. So now I had this job set in place. I needed to get an apartment, and this was all before I even moved to North Carolina. I did all of this when I was still in Florida. And one of the things also that I did in Florida to manifest being in North Carolina was when I would drive down like I-95 in Florida. In Florida, there's palm trees, mainly. There's palm trees, right? I would visualize, what I would do is in Florida, I would visualize pine trees or oak trees, or, like just trees in North Carolina, not palm, because in North Carolina, we don't have palm trees. We have very few palm trees. So my point to sharing that with you is that I was putting myself in the story, in the life that I wanted to already be in, even though I was still in the old life. This is how you step into a new identity, right? It could look like you change your hair, you change your clothes, la 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 la. It could look like that. But for me, this is what worked for me far beyond what I could imagine, because for 22 years prior to this, I was in a highly conflict personality, married to that person situation. Everything was, I was the woman who was constantly putting out fires. I was the woman who did everything for everybody, did everything for my kids. I was the cookie mom for the Girl Scouts. I did all the field trips. Like, I immersed myself in being a mom. I'm so grateful for that. And I'm also grateful to my ex-husband, even though he was who he is. I did have that opportunity. He gave me that opportunity. I didn't have to work full time. I didn't have to do any of that. I didn't have to get a nanny. I got to be with my kids. So my point to sharing that with you is that I was a different person. I was a completely different person. So when I started to change my identity from that stay-at-home mom, ran my ex's business, did all the things, gave all my energy away, I did too much, I gave too much, I loved too much to everybody else, and I put myself on the back burner. When I changed my identity from that person to the person that I was literally stepping into a new identity, I put myself in that new identity before I was that new identity. Okay, without changing my hair, without changing clothes, without doing anything. Everything starts here first, guys. Everything starts here. Your consciousness and where you are in your consciousness is how you start to look at the new identity. Okay, the outside stuff is great, but everything is built twice. I had a client that said that to me. I remember when I was explaining this to him, and he said to me, "Oh, yeah," it like clicked in his head. He was like, "Oh, yeah, that's what we say in engineering. Everything is built twice. First in the mind, and then in the physical reality." So first in the mind, that's how it got to be on paper for the engineers, and then it got built, like physically built. So whatever identity that you're stepping into, the way to do it is through your mind first. You have to build it in your mind first. You have to go, who am I as this new identity? Like, where am I? Who am I with? How do I feel? Because if you're in a chaotic situation, or if you're in a stuck situation, or if you're in a rut situation where every day is mundane and you're just like bored with your life, then who are you in that new identity? What do you want? First you have to decide, and then you gotta be clear on what you want. What do you want? Who are you in this new identity? So I did that. I manifested $10,000 without any help from anybody, without a job, I manifested $10,000, and I moved to North Carolina. I've been here ever since. I've created an incredible life for myself and my daughter. My daughter graduated from UNC with honors. She's thriving in life. Her and her husband just bought a house. Like, my life now, and I was just telling my husband this the other day, because he doesn't get it. Because he doesn't get it because he was never chaotic and crazy with his ex-wife like the experience that I had. So he doesn't get when I pull in, when I come home, and my body is just like fucking calm. I'm not looking, I'm not expecting, I'm not like what's next. I'm not like I used to be. It is such a gift. Like I could cry right now telling you what a gift it is. Okay, but I don't want to cry. I want you to get how much your life can change when you step into a new identity. So this is how you step into a new identity. Share your story of when you stepped into a new identity. Let other people know how you did that so that you can inspire other people to step into a new identity and give them tips, give them inspiration to step into a new identity, especially for people who are, I mean, for everybody, but especially for people who are in a very stuck situation and they feel like they can't get out. All right, my loves. As always, the justfuckingbreathe.com is available to you. The link is below. This is a 60-second reset. This is for you to listen to. I created this for you so that you could just take a fucking breath. Just fucking breathe. Because I remember the old me who was in that chaotic situation. I wish somebody would have taken me and said, Denise, just fucking breathe. But I didn't have that, and that's okay. And maybe the reason why I didn't have that is so that I could create this for you right now in this time, 2026, just fknbreathe.com. It's a 60-second reset just for you. All right. Those are the two things. Grab that for yourself and share your stories of how you stepped into a new identity. Share your story so we can inspire other people to do the same. All right. I love you.